Hi everyone, it's Tara. Today we're going to be talking about how do you recognize your calling? How do you identify what it is? And there's 7 qualities that can help us recognize our callings that I've seen show up again and again in the work I've done with hundreds of people to help them find their callings. So here we go. Number 1 is that you see a vision of what could be different around a particular issue or need in the world, and that vision just won't leave you alone. So maybe it's a vision of how healthcare could be more compassionate and efficient. Maybe it's a vision of a particular business or a nonprofit organization you want to start. Is there a vision that keeps showing up in your mind again and again? But sometimes our callings show up on the other side of the coin, as a persistent pain or frustration with some aspect of the status quo. Of all the terrible needs in the world and issues, maybe there's something that just keeps tugging at your heart with that subtle feeling of, this work is mine to do, this need won't leave me alone. And that brings us to number 3. It's that explicit feeling of, I just feel like I've been given an assignment here. I just feel like I'm supposed to do this. 4th, when we're working on our calling, when we're deep in the trenches of the work on it, we feel a kind of resonance and a magical sense of ease and flow. Now we're at the last 3 qualities of a calling. And I just want to warn you guys, usually this is when people have their uh-oh moment when they hear these. Number 5 is that we feel great resistance towards our callings. We don't actually want to run towards them. We usually want to run the other direction. We feel like they're going to upend our plans. They're too big, they're too daunting, they're inconvenient. We resist our callings. Number 6 is that we don't have everything we need to do the calling. And sometimes this makes us think it's not meant to be, couldn't be our calling. Because you don't have the resources or the relationships or the skills you need to do it. But actually, you're going to gather those things as you're working on the calling, not before. And that brings me to the very last and the most important quality of a calling. You are not yet who you need to be to complete the calling. So often our callings come to us and we say, but I couldn't be the one for that. I don't have the right degree. I don't have the charisma. I don't have the courage. I don't have this or that I would need to embody to really do that. And that's true. In some sense, you're right. Because our callings are there to grow us into that person. And as you work on the calling and dive in, you will become that person. Callings have a dual purpose: to bring light into the world and to grow us into a more expansive, a more mature, a more beautiful version of ourselves. So here's your action step for this week. Now that you know those 7 qualities of a calling, identify what calling is showing up in your heart right now.